Is the Power
Still,
7
bro.
podcast.
Shannon Sharp, talking reckless.
What happened with that? I still didn't catch what happened.
It seemed like they was talking trash. And you know, you talk trash to somebody and you say something that they just take it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you talk shit to somebody with like, yo, you a bitch, or you know, you suck my dick or fuck you, and that's a trigger word for them to be like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah.
I guess he said, you know, Shannon said to old boy, you too small to guard LeBron, and he said, fuck you. Shannon Sharp said, well, fuck you. So he started walking up, and Shannon Sharp said, yo, you don't want it. Then his man came over and said, yo, you really don't want it. He looked at his dad and said, you really don't want it neither.
Man, they better leave Uncle alone, man.
Man, look, you know Shannon Sharp from the country. He ain't really about. He really ain't about too much talking when it comes down to that. And you know, he ain't no little dude neither. I think even if he didn't work out, he would just be a big dude either way.
Yeah, they need to leave Uncle alone, man. They need to leave him alone.
He look like he like one of the dudes that have been in a couple fights. He ain't one of the dudes that ain't afraid though.
Yeah, you know he has.
Yeah, you know some dudes, they just big and they ain't never really been in a fight. Shannon Sharp, like he'll throw some good hands.
Shannon Sharp done scrap. He done scrap a couple times. Hell yeah. But why they fuck with him? I mean, why they take it so serious?
I mean, you know, it's a game, and you know, you playing, and you know, you out of town, and somebody talking shit, you be like, and Ernest, you of all people, you know, somebody, you know, you doing your thing, and somebody say you can't guard somebody, you like, nigga, who you talking to? Then you know you'd have walked up on the.
I probably would have said some like "shut your ass up" type of shit. I don't know if I would have been like "fuck you."
Yeah, he went straight to the fuck you and Shannon Sharp like, word, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I would. That's because I mean that's getting to, you know, telling somebody to shut the hell up and saying "fuck you" is two different things.
I've been playing for a couple of hours, and I've been hearing all these people talking shit, and you gonna come talk shit. And I know you're an analyst. I might have said something a little reckless too. Now, the fact that he walked up on Shannon, I think the fact that he started walking up on Shannon, you know, if Shannon would have walked up and he would have just kept playing, it might have just been all whatever. But because he walked up on him, you know, Shannon has something. Wasn't mad about it. I thought with Shannon needed to work for wrestling the way he was soft. I
see that. I like that meme I seen when he like they put like the parental advisory sticker on that shit, and he got him turned, and I'm like, hell no. I was wondering what happened though, because I hadn't.
You know, everybody got a friend or family member that's like that. They be like, yo, I'll take you there. I'll take you there with you and your homeboy and your daddy. Now, his daddy walked up. I was like, please, sir, just sit down. Because you the smaller person in here. You get knocked out first. You definitely get knocked out first. But I mean, you know, a lot of testosterone in the atmosphere, and he ain't backing down. And I mean, I don't think it was going to turn physical, but I mean, I don't think Shannon was afraid to turn to physical.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
I mean, they may have been taller than Shannon, but Shannon is not no little dude.
No, Shannon ain't no small dude at all. Hell no. But that shit, that's crazy as hell. Cause I kept seeing that shit. I kept seeing the meme. I kept seeing the goddamn meme and something else. Kept hearing about it, but I never went and watched and paid attention to what the fuck that shit was supposed to be about.
And what's funny was before that was what happened with Jamar Green, and he was like, "You walk up on me, I know what time it is." So Shannon Sharp ain't gonna do you're gonna be able to walk up on and start talking. So
Shannon Sharp did.
I was mad about how they handled Skip Bayless. I didn't agree with them being mad at Skip. I thought that was ridiculous, and I didn't see nothing wrong with what he said.
Why not?
I just didn't. I mean, it was worded funny, but like when I read it, I thought what he said, when I read it, when I finally got to find out what he was saying, I thought the post that I read, I thought that was his second post being like, oh, I didn't, you know, mean it, whatever. But once I realized that was word, I was like, well, he didn't really. He was like, this is unprecedented. You know, I watched wrestling, and Vince McMahon had somebody die in the ring. He kept that pay-per-view going. So I'll take your, like, yo, the show must go on.
I don't think he meant it like that. But no, he didn't mean it like that. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it like that, but people took it like that.
I think he used too many big words, and I think people got lost in the translation.
Them words was not that big. If them words he said was big, there's something wrong with people.
Well, clearly for everybody else, they like it was worded just really weird. It was the way he worded it. I think the structure of the wording was really, really weird. He was like, you know, this is a playoff game. He was like, but these are unprecedented times. So that right there, that last statement negated what he said in the beginning for me.
Yeah.
But apparently by the yells, they was like, nah. And I was like,
I don't know, man. I agree with you though. I don't think Skip said nothing wrong. Motherfuckers just get mad about everything now. People get mad about every little thing. Piss somebody off, somebody get offended. That shit happen.
And you know, and you could tell by the fact that he said it, and he was like, when he heard about it, because I've had situations where I've said something and somebody's like, wow, you said that? I'm like, I didn't, wait, you took that the wrong way. And I just think people took it the wrong way. And people who want to be angry about something just kept piling on. I feel like Shannon Sharpe could have handled that better. But I also feel like people were egging Shannon Sharpe on because of that argument they had a couple weeks prior to that too.
Yeah, you know that's what it was.
But I mean,
people was instigating that argument. What you think about that? What you think about the argument that happened? Because people was instigating the hell out that shit, they trying to dog him out, treat him like he weak as hell for fucking. Like he was, was he posted slap the shit out of Skip Bayless on TV or something? Is that what motherfuckers want to see?
That's one of them situations I felt like if me and you had a conversation like that and it got real heated and I said something, I felt like that could have been something later on. You're like, yo, bro, that was a little bit much. And I felt like that could have been something that they probably could have squashed after the show. Like, yo, you said that, I think that was a bit much. And I felt like they're men enough where they can sit down and talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm still wondering, you know, what did people expect Shannon Sharpe to do to Skip Bayless? Because there was motherfuckers online like instigating that shit.
I mean, but you also got to think too, you acting like at that moment in time where you're having an argument, you know, but they always take personal shots at each other. If you watch their show, I watch their show religiously. They always taking personal shots and, you know, whatever. So, I mean, it might have been a step too far. I can agree with that. But
so why did people instigate it if it wasn't
people like to see fights. I mean, you have a whole show about a domestic violence dispute with Blueface old girl.
Let me ask you a question then. If Shannon Sharpe would have slapped the shit out of Skip Bayless on TV, who would have had his back?
Nobody. He would have been on some Will Smith shit.
Exactly.
Will Smith shit.
So I don't understand why people instigating it, trying to clown him.
Because people want to, because that show is so good and they want to see it end. And you know, people don't like Skip Bayless and people love Shannon. And I mean, that's their job, their banter. That's what people like about it. People who have good banter make for good TV. You know, they talk about canceling that show. They want that to end, but we don't want Blueface and Christine, whatever her name is, to end. What up, nephew?
What the hell does that even come on? What does that come on? What app is that bullshit on?
Probably BT.
It's not on BET, dog. Yo, BET get a bad rap. I don't care what nobody say. It's not that bad. I don't understand.
I think it's at Zeus. I think it's on Zeus.
It's on one of them dumbass motherfuckers.
But
well, let me not call it dumb. It might be somebody y'all watch on YouTube that's on one of them type of apps. But
yeah, but I was looking at I like Charleston White. I love me some Charleston White. Charleston White said, you know, if this show was about a man beating on a woman, this show would have never made TV.
What show?
The Christina and
Blueface.
If Blueface was knocking her around, throwing glasses at her, this show would have been canceled. He'd been in jail. But because for me, I don't see nothing really, really wild about it because we've all known somebody, or either we've known somebody or we've been in a relationship that caused us maybe to act out a way that we normally wouldn't act out.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how I look at it. I'm like, these are two people that probably love each other, but just don't work together.
Right.
And, you know, probably once they break up, you know, they'll probably both be thriving. Blueface will start making really good music again. Christina will do whatever she do, and I think they'll be really successful.
Again? When did he ever? Never mind. Yeah.
What song he made, but apparently he was making hits. But you know, as he got with it, he hasn't made no music. And, you know, he's been doing also to this point, he's been doing the boxing thing. Which I'm surprised he didn't get in jail for hitting old girl daddy, because if he's a boxer, his hands are licensed, and you can't be fighting like that when you're a boxer.
I don't think that's true. I think that's not true. We should. I don't think that.
you know, a boxer, you just can't be running off, throwing off with people like that because your hands are proficient.
I don't think that's true. I think that's a lie.
You never heard that. You've heard that, haven't you?
I've heard it, but I don't know if it's really true.
I mean, I've also never seen a lot of boxers out here just swinging up on people.
No, not really.
Like professional boxers, you don't really see them or even MMA superstars because, you know, they get in a fight, they get knocked out, they whole stop cry. Like if Mayweather got a fight with a dude his side, they would have got knocked out, his stop with a crash.
Of course, yeah. They can't risk that's their livelihood. So they ain't finna be out here fighting for some bullshit. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know he was doing all that, but I didn't check for none of that.
I know, but I also looked at the what's name too. I know I'm gonna talk about this on the other podcast, Corny and Fit, that's what they call it. But the Ed Reed thing.
Ed Reed, going off about
I said this. I said this is a prime product of somebody who's never had a real job and doesn't know how to handle a real job situation.
Yeah, you don't do that.
He tried to handle this like he was on a football team and call people out for not. That's what you do when you play football or when you play any sport. If your man's ain't doing right, you call him out to step up. And I think that's what
But you know what though? Ed Reed played in the NFL, and even if you call somebody out, you don't call out people in the media or in public like that. Y'all keep that shit in practice and in the fucking locker room. So if he's practicing something he learned from football, why he forget that part?
Because think about it.
All that shit is true. Why the fuck are you posting that bullshit, dog?
He's also in the job market that does something that nobody else can do. Me and you can't go to our job and be like, you ain't paying me enough, so I'm gonna hold out, and you have to renegotiate my contract before I come to work. We can't do that.
No. But just because you can don't make it look better.
But my thing is this: you knew what you were signing up for. I said, if Ed Reed had half a brain, I would have went over and took over Jackson State.
Yeah, that's what he should have did. It was already been
established.
Good for somebody to come and step in.
Yeah. And then you hadn't even got the job fully.
Why? You know what though? Why didn't he do that?
Because his ego and his pride. The whole comment thing that you need to build your own instead of taking over. Like, I don't have a problem taking over somebody else's. He built the house. Let me build it up better. He wanted to, all schools could have went. He could have did Grambling. He could have shot, but he didn't in Bethel. Nobody even heard of Bethel. I've had friends who went to HBCUs and played sports and high football. There's definitely an issue with their financial situation.
But do you think that? Don't you think that makes him look even worse?
Yeah, I mean that makes him look like he was just there for the publicity and not there for the actual team, because you knew when you got there and they did a walk around the facility, these facilities weren't up to par. What you should have done, and what makes it worse is you went and talked to the dude who did it first, because he didn't do. I promise you, when Deion Sanders did it, he probably looked at every black school that he could do it for, and he found the best situation that was in the best state that he could work with. And he talked about he didn't trash the school. He talked about it after he left, and he talked about where it was and where he took it to. If it wasn't,
did Ed Reed do it for clout? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think Ed Reed did it for clout. I think Ed Reed didn't fully understand what he was getting into.
I don't know. It looked like he did it for clout to me.
Because I mean, but you
look what he did. Hold on, look at it. You went to the facility, you saw everything, right? You saw all of this shit. You knew what it was. So you took the job and then you get on camera.
But yet again,
Ed Reed's probably like 50 years old, man. Close to it. So you get on camera and start talking shit about this school that you want to try to build up. That's why you went there, because nobody really know it. You know they got financial hardships, so you put him on blast. He did it for the clout.
But
Ed Reed did it for the clout.
No, he didn't do it for the
He's
clout.
A clout chaser. He's horrible.
The reason why I think he didn't do it for the clout, and the only reason why is because he sent his nephew there.
Fuck that. He did it for the clout, dog.
And yet again, I say this. You went into a situation where you've never been in a position like that before. You don't understand the ins and outs of working at a school. You don't understand how these politics work.
I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's that deep.
I think he went there. He went there, thought he was gonna be a god, and realized he wasn't a god. And
he did it for the clout, man. Why did it all happen? Why did it all happen so close together?
Because he don't know how to handle. He didn't know how to handle stuff. Ed Reed is a passionate dude, and he doesn't know how to handle stuff like a correct, simple adult. You went in the situation, you knew, and I'm pretty sure when 4 years ago, when wasn't took over Jackson State, he probably had to work. He had a lot. He didn't show everything that he had to do. He didn't go in there and blast them about that. He talked about it afterwards, and where he talked about what they were and where he took them to. Ed Reed could have went in there and got some money and did some stuff, and he could have had 2 or 3 years where he probably wasn't going to win. I promise you, for the first 2 or 3 years, he probably wasn't going to do shit. And then he could have, but he didn't want to build. He wanted instant gratification. Like, you don't go to Miami because like,
so Ed Reed, you saying he's too emotional? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's too emotional. He's too emotional. He's never had a real job. Like, you never had a real job. You've never, like, you're talented.
What you mean? Hold on. I think he had a real job. I think football was a real job.
Football is a real job, but football doesn't. There are certain things that you don't have to learn how to deal with.
Yeah, but like, there's certain things that you have to deal with because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose what you have. So it's a fucking job, and they have a protocol that they have to follow and shit like that. Sometimes because of what they in, they can get out of it, but they still have some type of job education. They have some type of employee education. They do.
Somewhat, yes, I'll say that. But I also feel like
it's not like everybody, but it's still there. So no.
My thing is this. My issue is he brought up so many points. Oh, well, they ain't even paying me, nigga. You a millionaire? Why do we need to pay you?
I mean, because he's doing the job.
I mean, he is doing the job, but you know good and well.
No, fuck that. So he's supposed to do it for free?
No, he's not gonna do it for free. But don't go up there and after they tell you what they're gonna pay you, then you don't have pennies on the dollar. You knew what they was offering you. You knew damn what. You knew well, like you ain't going to Miami. You ain't walking into no Baylor. You're not walking into anything. You walking into a small school, Bethel. What black? No, nobody know what Bethel is. Where's Bethel?
Alabama, like, no.
No, like you like I might respect you more if you went to A&T or you went to Grambling.
Where's Bethel? It's not in Alabama. Where's it?
Like he tried to pull another what's his name? He tried to
where is Bethel?
Oh, let me look.
You don't know?
I'm about to find out. I ain't never heard of it.
I thought it was.
Never heard of it. Hold on.
I don't know. I think it's in Alabama. I don't know. Or Georgia, maybe. I don't know. I don't got my other phone.
I got you. Black colleges in Alabama, maybe.
Just type in the name of it. Bethel. What is it? BETHEA or something like that.
The nigga could have went to Tuskegee and he might have had better chance. It's not Alabama.
It might be Georgia.
Might be. I ain't never heard of it.
What you think about you seen that movie, The Hitchhike? No. What is it called? The Hitchhike, the homeless hitchhiker.
Nah. It's on
Netflix. The hatchet killing hitchhiker or some shit.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I ain't seen it. I saw it, but I ain't watched it.
Did you know? Did you hear about that when it happened?
I might have.
I don't remember hearing about that shit when it happened. I might have
drove past it. But
that movie, I'm gonna say this about that movie, man. That movie is fucking horrible because I mean I like documentaries, but they exploited this kid, like straight up exploiting him, and they still doing it. It's fucking crazy. And then they're on screen telling you that they did it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, this shit is fucking weird. Shit is fucking weird. I've seen a lot of crazy ones, but that one to me,
the last one I saw was Matt, the dude who worked for working in the stocks, and he was basically running a Ponzi scheme.
You talking about Madoff? Yeah, Madoff.
Boy, I watched that one. I was like, yo, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember when that shit happened.
I don't remember that one happened. I missed that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember when that shit happened with Madoff. That shit was all over the news when his ass went to prison for that shit.
All right, you seen Avatar?
The first one.
You ain't seen the second one, right?
Nah, no.
But it don't really matter. It don't really matter. I can tell you about it real quick. So I was watching it. I went there with Pops. Me and Pops watched it, right? And in the middle of the movie, I was like, this is Avatar: The Last Airbender, just a different version. He basically took a Chinese anime and made it a real life movie, just a little different.
So it's not as good as the first one.
It's not. It is, but it's.
I don't know. I've heard different things. I heard that it wasn't good.
Like no, he basically ripped off a cartoon movie and made it a little different. So instead of the people having the powers of the place, it's more like one people live on the earth. One people live like in the land, so they live their forest. They're all about nature. Then the other one, they're water, so they live in water. They swim better than everybody else. And now they're about to do a fire one. I'm like, okay, this is The Last Airbender. You basically took The Last Airbender for a lot of people who don't watch anime and don't know nothing about it, and you put it to America. Like, look here, what I got. I mean, that's damn near copyright infringement. But I'm surprised they ain't suing them for it.
Well, what if there is water people though?
No, but these are aliens though.
I know. Why they ain't came up? Or do they come up sometimes and we just don't see them?
No, I mean like that.
Or maybe do they look like us and they can just go into the water and we don't know it?
I mean, but technically there are these people who live in Asia somewhere and they live on the water and they can hold their breath longer than the statistic norm because they live there and their lungs are better equipped for it. So, I mean, you know, if you live like look at Samoans. Samoans are bigger people because of the place they live and what they have to do. They're just bulkier people.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You know, I mean, in theory, you could say there's a lot of different kind of airbenders, you know, like that. But I think it's a ripoff of The Last Airbender, and I'm not mad that he did it, but I was like, this is The Last Airbender. You basically giving Americans The Last Airbender, think you doing something, but you ain't.
That's crazy because I did see The Last Airbender.
Because this would be like
my shit. A lot of people didn't like, or the version I saw, a lot of people didn't like, but I thought that shit was dope.
I mean, I get why, but it's almost like if they were to make The Last Dragon, but with all Caucasian people and be like, oh, this is a great movie, and you go see it, you'd be like, Bruce Leroy, like it's like that. It's like you watch it, you be like, I've already seen this, but you redoing it, making it seem like it's really cool. But I'm like, no, it's already been done. You know, so it's kind of that vibe.
So you didn't like it?
I did not like it, but it put a sour taste in my mouth. Like I'm basically watching The Last Airbender, just a little different. And like when I told one of my friends, I was like, "This is The Last Airbender." He was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, no, really, it is. Like, you just can't.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give?
A 5.
A 5?
Because it was that dude.
Would you recommend it to anybody?
Huh?
Would you recommend it to anybody?
I mean, yeah.
So which one was better, the first one or the second one? Because I like the first one.
I ain't seen I saw the first one time. That was 3 hours of my life. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to do this again.
Ain't the new one 3 hours?
Yeah, I was mad about that too. I went.
So you went. Hold on. So the first one is 3 hours, right? Yeah. I know the first one is long, and you went and seen another one.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it. Pop wanted to go watch it, and I said I'll go watch it with him. That's when I started making it.
So what though? No wonder you disappointed. You said those 3 hours you can't get back, but you went and repeated them 3 hours.
Yeah, but like the first one I watched, I didn't make that connection to The Last Airbender. There was no reference to make that connection.
What connection did you make to the first one?
There was nothing. I was like, oh, this is really cool.
You didn't make a connection to the first one?
No, to The Last Airbender. No, there was no reason to think.
I'm saying, no. What I'm asking you is, what was the connection you made with the first one? To what reference did you make a connection with?
I didn't make a reference. I just thought it was a cool movie.
Oh, you didn't see anything else in it?
No, I didn't. I just thought it was a cool movie, and it was a bunch of people trying to conquer other people, and I was like, colonization maybe, but I wasn't thinking about it at that point. I was like, oh, this is a cool movie, I guess. I didn't really.
You bugging, man.
Huh?
You bugging.
I didn't really think.
That movie was crazy. That first one was crazy. I don't need to see a second one after the first one. That's why I don't want to see the second one because I might go to the first one. The first one The first one said it all, and it ended it. And I'm like, that's the way it should end because we know what ends up happening. You know what I'm saying? So the first one was enough. I don't know why they wanted to make a second one. Motherfuckers greedy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm guilty of doing that. When I was young, I was like, damn, I wish they would make more series of movies. So I'm kind of not mad at it because I've always been like that. There are certain movies I'm like, damn, I wish they would have had like another Last Dragon. Or, you know, I kind of wish the story.
You wish they had another Last Dragon?
Maybe not so much. I'm just using Last Dragon.
No, I was gonna say, because if that's true, your movie choices are fucking horrible.
Like, I wouldn't mind if they would Element. Like, that's one of my favorite movies. I wouldn't mind if they would have revisited The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element was dope.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of my top 10 movies of all time. Shout out to Chris Rock. And that movie made way more than what it would have cost.
Oh, yeah. It was good, though. It was good. It was definitely good.
You know, you had Bruce Willis in it. You had Chris Tucker. Like, people you wouldn't expect to put in a movie together, they put in and it's just jail. Now, I don't think if they did a second one, I wouldn't want to see Bruce Willis or what's name in it. I would want to see like either a prequel to it or something totally different, but I would have been cool with it.
For sure. I never thought about it. That movie came. I remember when it came out. I remember when it first came out.
Me and Mom love that movie. Did you ever see that? I don't know. I don't know. Did you see that one about the dude? He was talking about the cookie.
No.
Okay. Don't drink now real quick. This is wild. And the fact that he never put so he was telling the story. I guess he does a podcast for maybe his wife or I guess something like that. And he was telling the story. He was like he was telling the story about a cookie. It was like it's called Ookie Cookie or Wet Cookie or something. Where they put a cookie. It's fucked up. And it was fucked up because he started catching the connection of what was going on. So, and I would never do this. I know damn sure you would never do this. But they put a cookie on a chair, and they get him a bunch of his teammates would get around it, and then they would start pleasing themselves until these are the white boys, and they would start pleasing, and whoever got finished first or whatever, but whoever's the last one to finish had to eat the cookie.
That's fucking what? Nah, I ain't heard no shit like bullshit like that.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, he wasn't gay. He was like, it was a team building exercise. I was like, that ain't no team building exercise, bro. I don't know what kind of.
You be looking at, man.
It was on YouTube. It just somebody had like made a vine of it or like a rebuttal to it. Like, the hell you got going on in your life?
Hell no. Shit, I don't know, man. It's been a long time since we even dropped the pod.
It is. I was excited. I'm glad you decided to hit me. I hit you up first. I was like, when you hit me up, I knew exactly what it was. I was like, it's time.
Yeah, I had to chill for a minute. I ain't have to chill. I just wanted. It was just,
I get it.
Life happens.
What do you think about Jaguar right?
So the first time she had something to say, my whole thing about that was some of the things she said. That she was participating in some of the bullshit that she's been going against. So I've always wondered is if everything worked out for you, would you still be talking shit about it?
I mean, I don't remember.
Are you only, this is the question I have towards when I see her. Are you only doing that shit because things didn't work out? Because you already said you was doing some of that same fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? And you calling out everybody, and I don't doubt nothing she say, but I'm like, would you say anything if everything would have worked out good for you? If you was on top, would you do that? Or are you only doing it because all that shit that you did didn't work out, so you like, fuck it. Now you want to go off.
What I didn't know was she had been saying it for 3 years.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. When I said the first time I heard about it, so the first time I heard about it, those were the questions I had.
My thing is this: some of the stuff that she said, it's been said before, and I didn't even know who she was. I thought she was like a ghostwriter or something. I did take exception.
I knew who she was. She had been on a couple live shows and shit like that. And I was into
The neo
I
soul.
was into the neo soul thing, so I know who she was. So, but when I first heard it a couple years ago, I didn't think she was lying, but I was just like, you just said you was doing some of that shit too. So why you talking about it now? And then I think she just got arrested.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Mental illness, and I think she was suffering from a severe episode. And I think that her career didn't work out. You know, I think, you know, I didn't. One thing I know that she said, and it kind of pissed me off, and it was about what she said about female rappers. I didn't agree with it. I'm like, shit. Why can't female rappers be lyrical too? You know, but you know, like it's a trend now. All the female rappers are strippers. I was like, there's a lot of truth to that because Eve was a stripper.
Yeah, I mean, sex sells. So a woman not rapping about being sexy and on that type of shit, it ain't gonna sell.
But
unless they're like a Lauryn Hill, and it's hard to have a Lauryn Hill in this day and age because the way things are set up now, it's hard to have someone like that.
I don't think Eve didn't come off as a sex selling artist.
Yes, she did.
No, maybe she did. Maybe I'm thinking about it. Maybe, but I didn't really consider her a sex selling single artist. Like she came out with a bunch of hard ass niggas. She just thought she was a hard ass girl with the rest of them niggas. Because I knew girls like her who just hung out with a bunch of hard ass niggas, and she was just hard too. And then she did.
Definitely was a sex symbol.
I mean, she was pretty to look at, but I mean, she did songs like "Love Is Blind," and she wasn't really talking about how she sucking hella dick. She throwing dick.
No.
So that's what I mean, like on that aspect. But she wasn't like the Little Kim. She was a little more less raunchy, a lot less raunchy.
You can't do that now. You can't do that now. Can't do that now with social media.
But I mean,
because that shit, that ratchet shit, is a commodity too now. When it comes to that, you really gotta be on that shit and talking online and all that. So that's another thing. So yeah, you right about Eve. You right about Eve, but that shit wouldn't work now.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work now. And I'll say this, and I'll stand on this. Honestly, the female rappers are rapping harder than the niggas. Niggas is depressed.
I don't. You know what? That's fucked up because I don't even listen to most of the shit from the new artists now. I ain't gonna lie. I don't. And maybe that's why. Because when I hear it, I'm like, man, I don't want to. I'm like, I don't.
Niggas is depressed.
All that whining and auto tune shit. I just don't.
And there's a couple tracks I'm like, all right, cool, I can rock it, but it's a lot of whining. A lot of niggas. It's emo rap. Emo rap is selling. Niggas is out here depressed with millions of dollars. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the female rappers are rapping harder than the niggas.
I don't even.
They beats are harder. That's just my opinion. I mean, as far as the mainstream.
And matter of fact, yeah, and when it comes to the mainstream, I think most of the rappers that I like are older rappers. They're not even young. They're still they're like your age, or maybe, they're your age, or maybe close to my age, or my age. Most of the rappers I listen to, like Freddie Gibbs, I think Freddie Gibbs is like 39, 40. You know what I mean? 38.
Yeah.
I like him. I listen to him. He had the hardest album this year that I heard.
Yeah, but Gibbs kept getting knocked out by her. He kept getting beat up.
Who?
Joe Gibbs.
So what? What they got to do with anything?
He kept talking shit on that nigga. Stop talking. Like, just stop.
Yeah, he got beat up, but he still went and performed.
Oh yeah, I mean he did.
In the same city he got beat up in, got jumped in.
I think social media. I think like who would have, how would Benzil would have turned out, and the Lock would have turned out if that video would have got out with that scrap at that event. But I mean, I don't think rap is doing. I think rap is, like I said, it's going through a transition, and it's fine. I mean, I think it'll grow because it'll go to something new.
I hope the mainstream dies. Because we got ways to hear there's so much music out here in so many ways connect to that music, but you don't have to actually rely on none of this shit anymore that they want you to rely on, that they're still trying to push to make it the thing. But I think that I hope that shit ends. I don't know if it is, but I hope it does.
I mean, it will, because I mean, you gotta think about it. I mean, snap music, and I love snap music. I was like, you snap your fingers, do your step. Like, I was all about snap, but it was a phase. I mean, I think that I think, like I said last time, I think rap needs to get back to just being rap and not this. I think we had less gangster rap. I think we had just a couple of rappers other than fucking Kendrick and Drake.
But there it is. But
like that's being pushed mainstream.
Fuck, that's why I said I hope the mainstream dies.
I mean, it is. I mean, to a certain extent, it is. I mean, at this point now, you really don't have to listen to the mainstream rap if you don't want to.
If people don't have to listen to the mainstream rap, they'll start using their own brains and what they like.
I mean, you know, the only other thing I can say about the hip hop rap community that I wish the whole hip hop community, because I encompass R&B in it. I wish we had real R&B singers.
I feel you. You know what? I never considered the R&B conversation real tough because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't buy a lot of R&B growing up because I didn't have to, because our parents listened to the same R&B that was popular for me as a kid. So yeah. I never had to buy R&B growing up because our parents always had it.
Yeah. Like I do miss that.
So once R&B switched up and things changed, I didn't notice it that much because it was never something I ever spent my money on or had to look for because it was always there.
Like the last real R&B singer that I would consider an R&B singer was Chris Brown.
Okay. Oh.
I mean, what about Usher?
Usher, yeah. I guess it would be Chris Brown. No, it's what about some of these other motherfucking characters out here?
Like, I mean, but like I'm talking like a real R&B singer that's not afraid like to talk about y'all.
Make a plate.
Okay. That's my business. Get out, grown folk.
Oh no! Put your face in the camera. Put your face in the camera. No, like I still agree. I still say like, you know, I miss. I will say this. I miss R&B singers talking about love. Like a nigga being like, y'all really love her. Like I fucked up and I love. Like I still miss those songs. Those songs are needed because niggas is too hard now.
Why don't you listen to some of them songs?
I started to again. You know, like I started to put them back on. But I mean, like there's the last real love song I kind of heard that I kind of listened to was from Dej Loaf and Future, and that was about the closest I'm gonna get right now. Dej Loaf.
Oh, and Future?
Yeah, Hey There. Like that was.
Ain't they rappers?
Yeah, no, she's a singer rapper.
What is Future? Is he a rapper? Because I always thought he was a singer.
He's a rapper. He came out of Dungeon Family too. A lot of people forget.
I know that.
So that's why he did that kind of like, I thought Future when he did that CD he did for Superfly, I was like, yo, he was about to change. He was about to be on some. A lot of people forget. CeeLo Green started out just a rapper.
A lot of people don't forget. What are you talking about?
Oh no! If you would have asked a lot of people, no, you know that because you grew up listening. You taught me how to listen to CeeLo Green, but a lot of people would not think CeeLo Green gangsta rapper.
If anybody don't understand who CeeLo Green, where he came from and started from, they're not real. They're not real people even into music.
But like,
because if you don't know Goody Mob and that movement, because it was part of the Outkast movement.
The Dungeon Family, yeah, like that's the reason why I started liking rap was because of. But I'm
surprised. I've always been surprised that Future was actually came out of that camp because to me none of his music.
Well, if you listen to that CD, that because he produced that whole CD from Superfly, like that would let you know like he really came from that. That real dungeon, like that real Superfly?
I got listen.
He produced that whole CD, and that was he was really like, and I was like, oh, you really about to be there, but like kind of just whatever. But like he really can produce, and I won't be surprised if later on down the line you find out he was producing and doing a lot of tracks that nobody knew about. Like I didn't know Missy Elliott.
Who was Superfly?
Huh?
Who was Superfly?
You don't remember that movie?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that song, Shame in My Game?
I don't know. It's a couple of versions of that song.
Like his pen game and he's really an artist, and like I find that to be very refreshing in this. Like, just
I'm gonna have to look at some other stuff because most of the stuff that comes from Future for me that I hear, I ain't never liked.
You can tell, like, just being a hip hop enthusiast that I am, low key, that nobody know about. I can hear where in certain tracks, I can hear where the dungeon, where he spent that time in the Dungeon Family. You can really see it doesn't pop up much, but probably if you bought his CD, you can probably hear like, okay, this is really.
So I would actually have to listen to a Future project because I've never listened to a Future project. I've heard his songs, either was on the radio or on a TV show or some bullshit like that, but I've never bought anything from him unless I heard it from somebody else. I just didn't care for it. I didn't care for his voice first and foremost. I didn't care for his voice, so that already was like, I'm tuning out now because I don't like what I'm hearing. There's something I don't like what I'm hearing. I'm tuning out. So I tuned out then, and then once I hear the beats, every now and then I've heard a beat that sound cool, but I don't even think it's him. I think it'd be Metro Boomin.
I think it's him.
The only reason I say I think it's Metro Boomin because I've heard him say the little tagline for Metro Boomin. If you're on Metro, don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you, whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm like, oh, okay.
But I think because he produced that CD, you can really hear like the Dungeon Family influence. And for me,
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I'm gonna have to, before I say anything about that, because I've never been able to find anything. I never heard anything from him that made me feel like, oh, now I get he's from the Dungeon Family. Because I've always been like, really? You know what I mean? When I hear his music. So I'm gonna have to check out that project that you just told me, the Superfly, and so I can listen to it and get a vibe for it.
So he made sure every track lined up, and I thought he did his thing. I'm a big low key. I guess people don't know. I'm a big because my first rapper I fell in love with was Dungeon Family.
Was who?
Was Outkast. That was the first song I liked from rap. I remember because we was in Germany and you kept playing that damn song, Evolution.
Definitely wasn't in Germany, but Outkast came out.
And you kept singing me, and you would sit there.
That's in Colorado.
Might have been.
It was.
Okay, it was in Colorado. Because you kept singing it to me.
That shit didn't come out. That shit came out in '96. That was my senior year of high school.
Then that's when I really started being like, all right, I like rap. And then then I started like it went from there, and then it went to No Limit.
That's when you started liking rap?
That's when I started like, okay, I didn't really
start. Bro. That's not true. We used to watch MC Hammer and shit.
I mean, but like as far as like
that's rap. What are you talking about?
There's a difference between me listening to it and then me starting to be like, okay, I actually like this shit.
Oh, you talking about understanding it?
That's like all right, cool. Like, I mean, I didn't start really liking, like really, really, really listening to rap because before I left Colorado, I was listening to whatever. But it wasn't until I moved down here and I started hanging out with Chris that I really started being like, all right, I like rap. All right, and then make him say, started. And then I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I can get with this.
That song was horrible.
But then but what made me really like understand rap was hanging out with you because you used to always tell me, I mean, this shit cool, but you need to listen to the words. And I was like, I'm gonna start listening to the words. And then I started listening to the words.
I don't remember when I said that shit to you, but I know like who got the props from Black Moon. That's what I used to play in Germany over and over again on VHS. Who got the props from Black Moon? I used to play that shit all the time. Cause I used to be like, yo, you kind of look like, I used to tell you like you look like Buckshot Shorty a little bit. I used to tell you that. Now I was in Germany.
But let me get a beer real quick. All
right, go ahead. I gotta go to the bathroom anyway.
All right. Okay, while he gone, I'm going to entertain y'all real quick. I'm going to do myself plug in. So, I do the Twisted Villain podcast, if you ever know. And I also do a podcast with the Fresh and Fit crew. No, we changed the name to Corny and Confident. So that's the name of the ones we do. That I do too. So, we out here trying to do it. We're going to be more consistent this year on all podcasts, all platforms. Check us out. I miss doing this podcast with my brother. Like this is something I think that 20 years ago, I think if Ernest would have said, I'm gonna do it, I got a question. I got a question for you because you've been through a lot, you've lived a lot. If you could see yourself when you were 18, I'm gonna do 20. I'm gonna do 20-year-old after the military Ernest. If you can go there and talk to him right now, what would you say to him? Knowing everything that you've been through from then to now, what would you tell him? You probably won't listen too much, but what would you tell him?
You said me after I got out the military?
Yeah, like fresh out of the military, you figure shit out. What would you tell him?
Damn. I know exactly the answer. Damn. It's kind of gonna hurt to say this, but I would have said, I would have been like, no matter what you go through, don't go. See, I don't want to say it.
Say it.
I probably would have told myself, honestly, I probably would have said, don't go back to Detroit.
I figured you would say that.
Probably would have told myself not to go back. I don't regret it.
Yeah.
I don't regret it, but if I can go back, I would have probably said that because I feel like I lost some years there. I lost some time. I lost some years there on that shit. So I would say that. But right, yeah. At that time, because there's a bunch of times I can go back to. on that particular one, I would definitely said, don't go back home. I'm like, don't go back home. I would have been like, don't stay. Just go back and go. Yeah. Maybe go more, but don't stay.
What would you say? 18-year-old Ernest. Because he really wanted to listen.
18-year-old Ernest, I would have said, go for it all. Fuck it. Go through it. Go through the struggle for what you really want. That's what I would have told 18-year-old Ernest. I would have been like, fuck that. So I would have said, go harder and don't hold back.
What do you have listened?
Huh?
What do you have listened?
Ooh. I don't think I don't know.
Would you have gotten a fight with 18?
Yeah, maybe. It depends on who would have. Yeah, maybe. If it's me coming back to me, yeah, he would listen.
Got a fight?
Yeah, we possibly strong possibility. Because me now would have said something super
out there,
either condescending or flipped out or rude or something like that. Because I know it's myself anyway. So yeah, we would have definitely touched him. Maybe the motherfucker would have just been like, damn. But I think, yeah, I think so. Because even at that time, I think if it would have came from someone older and be like, man, just go ahead and go for it, I would have done it more instead of worrying about everything I was worrying about at the time.
18-year-old me.
What about you?
18-year-old me.
Yeah.
I would have told him the word is your oyster. Don't just go for it. I would have told him go back to Florida.
Go back to Florida?
Yeah.
What was in Florida?
I just liked it. I really liked it. And when I went to go hang out, no, that was maybe a little, I was 19, I had to be 18 or 19, no, I had to be 20. I was 20 when I went there. 20-year-old me, I would have been like, go there, go back. Because I wanted to go back. And I wish Pops would have told me what he told me then. What he told me later on, like I do now. I would have been like, fix a raggedy ass car, go drive down there and figure it out. You got good knees, you're good work ethic, you can figure it out. Would he have listened? Probably not, but I would have been like, all right.
That wasn't, yeah.
25-year-old me, I would have fought him.
Yeah.
Me and him would have had to go outside.
I say more 18-year-old me than 25-year-old me.
Because the 25-year-old me, I was like, I would have caught him. When I get married, around 26, 27.
Nigga, I'm supposed to know.
I'm about to be 10. So, and he's about to be 10, so I'm 38. So 26. Yeah, 26. I got married right before he was born. The year he was born. So, and so I would have said 26. I would have put up on him then.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, listen, I know you living, but there's more to what you're doing, and you figure out who you are, because this shit is not about to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have definitely told him to figure it out now. And I would have told that nigga, go take more trips.
Definitely. That's what that's what I want to do now. Start taking more trips.
Okay, I got a question. This is hard.
I got this little knucklehead, but
I got a question.
Yeah.
Would 18-year-old, if I went to go talk to 18-year-old Ernest, and I'm my age, would Ernest would have listened to me?
No. I'm not gonna lie to you. No.
Me and him might have had to fight. I would have said something real crazy to him. Like, nigga, what's wrong with you?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, man. No. 18-year-old me I was fucking I'm still a little wild.
Okay, do you think 18-year-old me would have listened to older you?
Yeah, I do.
Might have been like, all right, sounds cool.
But I mean, I don't think you listen to me now.
All this, because like since when I had that blowout on the podcast about Black community, I've stepped back a little bit, and I
so what you talk about?
Because last time, me, you, and Jess, I blew up. You don't think I blew up, but I blew up. I was mad.
I got it. Well, you done told me that, and I gotta look for it. Because I think it's two. Yeah, it's two with me, you, and Justin. So
yeah,
okay, I'm glad you. So I'm gonna find it then.
I was mad. I was mad about some other shit we talked about later on that night. And yeah. And I just remember I went off, and after that, I started really examining how I felt about the Black community and all of that. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna work through this. I've been working through.
What the hell? What you mean? How you feel about the Black community? How you feel about us?
I don't know if it's us, but I mean, I think there's them and then there's me.
You say there's no us?
I don't think there's an us. I think there's a them and there's a me. I feel like, and I've gotten better about this. I feel like I know him. I mean, by proxy, I'm with the Black community, but I'm also feel like when stuff is going down, you want my body there to be like, Black community, whatever. But when shit is settled and calm, I take your little weird ass over there and stay in the corner. Like, that's how I feel about it. So I'm like, when it comes down to certain shit, you want me to be there. But when shit is settled, I need to go take my little weird ass and go sit down. I'm like, no, we ain't gonna do that. So like, that's my issue. I'm like, no, there's we when it's conflict, but once the conflict is over, I need to go take my little weird ass and go sit down. And that's my issue with it, because it's always like, well, when conflict, I'm like, yeah, but you don't see me like that. You only see me like that when you need me. And then when it comes down to what we go through, I'm like, no, because you tell me I'm not, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's that.
I seen something earlier from I seen it on TikTok, and Gilly, not Gilly, but Wallow said some shit like, motherfuckers be finessing the culture or using that shit for the culture to finesse people. You know what I'm saying? To basically get what you need from them when you want to get something from them.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you know, when we want to rally and shit, they want me to be out there. But then when I start spitting my view, they're like, "Nah, nigga, you a little too progressive. Go sit your ass down." All right, cool. So they're like, "Well, you know, we need to do." I'm like, "No, we don't need to do shit. You need to go do this." I'm like, "I'm still with you." Like, I mean, if you ask me anything about the Black culture, like, I'm militant as fuck because of the people I've been around and the family I grew up in. Like, I know my culture. But because I decided to be different and live different, you are not like I couldn't be walking up at Umar Crew like, nigga, you console with white women. You are already canceled. That's
fuck all that shit.
Someone has put me on the fringes of the community. So I'm like,
I agree that shit is bullshit. That's not real unity.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we and the other crew, they always talk about we. I'm like, no, there is no we, there is y'all. There is not we, because I know what we looks like. I've been around we, and then I've been around where it's conditional weakness. So I'm like, you know, I say, you know, they wanted to, like I always say, you know, Black people want to be, if you are one of Black people that only want to live with Black people, I'm like, go find a dead city, repopulate it. Well, I've always said this.
Continue. Go ahead.
No, you did. But I've always said there are millions of dead cities and dead towns in the United States they still have buildings. They still, because you really only need a couple things. You need a store for like a mini grocery store, at least one doctor, one lawyer, a judge, and you don't need much. And you need people in it, and they can go work somewhere else and come back here and fund the money through. I'm all about doing that. I don't want to live there because I'm like I'm a little too. I'm out there. I'll help set it up. I'll show you. You know, whatever it can be done, because it's not but repopulating a place that's no longer there, because most dead cities are either all the jobs dried up or the train system don't run through there. There are cities out here that you can just repopulate them and put a mayor in there. I mean, that's what they did in Oregon. They took over a small ass town. I forgot what the name of the crew was. They went there, they bought off all the land. They put their people in the power. And they made their own laws, and they essentially made a city. That's all you have to do. Nobody's going to stop you from rebuilding a dead city.
But what are you going to be able to do to defend that city?
You don't have to. It's a city. It's recognized by the state.
That's happened before. Which brings me to this: is it a myth? Is it a fictional handicap that Black people have in their head that if they do build something up, that's all Black that it will give? Burnt down by white people. Is it a myth? Is that a myth? Or is that a real fear? Is that a mythical fear or a real fear?
Real fear. I can't say it's not, because I mean we've seen instances in towns where they flooded towns. I mean, Wilmington used to be Black owned before they murdered everybody and put them a gun point and made them leave. We've seen instances where if you build a community Black strong, that it'll be burnt down. I mean, or it'll be taken over. There's a Black city in North Carolina that's basically on the verge of being depopulated. I need help.
Yeah, he do. It's my foot to his ass.
Help.
Oh no, the governor of Florida. So I guess the state of Florida rejected African American studies in school. I want to say college. I think it's a college because it said sounded like it was college or high school, because it said advanced placement study. It's for advanced placement studies of African American studies. But they rejected it because they wanted to include things like the critical race theory thing. It was a bunch of stuff. It was a bunch of stuff kind of geared towards the politics of what's going on now. Centered with African American studies. But it was more, it seemed like the way it was coming, it seemed like it was more of a what's being taught. Yeah. What's today, what everybody's saying. Yeah. And it was not so much shutting down like it was trying to shut down history, but more trying to shut down this political shit
I don't think the political shit should be involved, but I mean, America has a history.
America has a history. I believe that American history should be taught honestly. So that's going to include us, Black Americans. It's going to include us, and it's the truth of the matter. Whatever the truth is, the truth that has to be told when you're dealing with history. Just and then there's Native Americans who should be included because a lot of the things that shape what America is and what some traditions and culturally America has in place comes from them as well. And that hasn't it's all over the place. And I think it's like I said, when they politic it, when they use politics for certain stuff, it taints everything.
America has a family history of we have a bad tendency to be like, I'm gonna use a family thing. Oh, you got that uncle that does undisparaging things. We're not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna brush it under the rug. Because I mean, up until the 1960s, they were chemically castrating people in West Virginia, the undesirables that they didn't want to continue to reproduce. So America has always been known to push what they've done under the rug or make things like Manifest Destiny wasn't nothing but a way to make people feel good about killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, slavery only continued because they needed labor. Slavery would have ended way before then, but they were like, no, this is the way we make money. America's always found a way to justify, you know, the war on drugs that was just a way to attack the certain people and to keep them broken. And you know, the war on drugs didn't help anybody. It was actually one of the worst things up.
Yeah, the war. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't understand why. If we know as a society that if you are,
I don't think you know what. I don't. I'm sorry. We're back. I don't think the war on drugs was really a attack on people. I don't think it was actually an attack. Like I don't think it was a strategic attack on Black people. I believe that it was a means to get whatever the fuck they had going on, but the people, it wasn't. I don't think it was an attack. I think it was just like whatever. Like we don't have to care about them. We can let them. We can let them be fucked up and we can lock them up. I don't even think it was an actual war thing. I think it was just
I think it was a way to get undesirable.
I think it was just like it's a they ain't shit thing.
I think it was a way to get undesirable people out of the public eye. The lower.
I don't even think it was. I'm sorry. I said this a couple of years ago. I can't keep giving these motherfuckers that much credit. I don't think they that smart. I think their whole fucking thing probably was like, fuck them niggas. Nobody's gonna care about them. So we can lock them up. I'm not saying that's I'm not saying that's okay or that makes it better, but I don't think it was like a thought out process to be like, you know what? We can't let them be this or be that. Because I don't think the motherfuckers is that smart.
I don't think that, and I've always said this about America, I don't understand how you could tell somebody that if you're 18, that your brain is underdeveloped, but yet you're able to sentence somebody to life in prison. Because even when we go to jail between the ages of 18 and 25 for a while, they weren't trying to send you to prison.
Yeah.
Why are you sentencing? If you say somebody has a brain that's underdeveloped and they don't understand the consequences of what's going on, how the hell you sentence them to life in prison? The person that you were at 18 is not the person that's standing before you now.
Yeah, but if you murder somebody at 18, your ass needs to stay in prison.
But why?
What you mean, why? You a fucking murderer.
You a murderer, but America is the land of the free. America is not the land of the forgiven.
Listen, man, some murders ain't to be forgiven.
No, I mean, I agree. I totally agree. But, you know, even in Canada, you know, if you're 18, you murder somebody, they'll keep you till you're 25 and they'll make you go to therapy and try to rehabilitate you.
You talking about self-defense murder?
No, like there was these two kids who killed their mom and them. And they ended up...
No, motherfucker. You're not right and you ain't ever gonna be right.
Why not?
What you mean, why not?
if you go to therapy and you get right, why can't you be back out?
Therapy, so another motherfucker that has the potential to do the same thing is gonna tell me what the fuck I should be doing?
No, I mean, but you should be able to. Why can't somebody get a second chance?
No,
I'm not
bro.
all cases, no, but you know, how many times has somebody done? Sometimes
the difference between us and fucking animals is we can make the discernment that motherfucking animal is fucking crazy. And he's gonna keep doing the same shit over and over fucking again.
I feel like a lot of people are with that situation a lot of times. It's better safe than sorry.
Nah, man, fuck that, man.
Fuck that.
If you just murder your fucking parents, cold blood, just do that shit and don't care, I believe you. I believe that person would murder somebody else again for nothing. This motherfuckers out here that's crazy, man.
I got a topic for you next week. The parole and the child support system.
That's a good one.
Is it a setup, or is it really out here helping people?
I guess we're gonna find out next week.
What day you want to do it next week?
We might do it again like this. I like this Sunday afternoon vibe. Saturday is cool too. I don't mind doing it on Saturday nights, but sometimes I end up it's Saturday. I might be drinking a little too much.
Let's do this.
I fall asleep.
Let's set up for Saturday. I was asleep too. I was like, damn. I woke up. I was like, damn, did you text me or something? But let's do this to make it better for both of us. Let's do this. Set it up. One for Saturday and one for Sunday. So we don't make one day. We'll be like, okay, it's cool. We'll definitely have to make it Sunday.
Okay, I'm with that.
Except for Super Bowl Sunday, because that might be a little different.
No, it's definitely not Super Bowl Sunday.
Definitely not Super Bowl Sunday. All right. Well, I think this is gonna have to conclude what we done did for the night.
Oh yeah, I'm about to cut this one up. Just post it out here.
You got anything to say to the fans before you leave?
I don't know I had any. So, like I always like to say, man, fuck these kids. Don't let them motherfuckers fool you.
Where can we find you at? Because I just found you. You just found me a couple of days ago on TikTok.
Oh, check me out. Torque Cicero, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Torque Cicero on Instagram. Torque Cicero on Facebook. Uncle Ern Got Beats on YouTube.
On TikTok.
On TikTok, Uncle Ern Got Beats.
No, something different. It's something.
Oh, Hassan Earns.
Yeah.
Find me on TikTok, Hassan Earns.
Listen, anywhere you find the villain, you can find me on TikTok, the villain. You can find me on Instagram, the Villain Conglomerate Inc. You can find me on Facebook under the Twisted Villain Talk Podcast. And that's where you can find me at right now. Oh, and look for the Corny and Confident podcast that I do with the other crew.
Corny and Confident, I gotta fuck with that. Oh, also, it's 2023. Be on the lookout, because it's been a minute, and it's gonna come. Beer Beats and Eats pod. You know
and don't forget, it's the 23rd year. We about to be great like Jordan this year.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that coming. It'll be probably either live or it'll definitely be video stream, but be on the lookout for the Beer Beats and Eats pod. Always check that out. And also at Uncle Ern Got Beats on YouTube. All that, everything I said.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get some more family members up here so we can keep the family member thing going. I know you said you wanted to do it.
Oh yeah.
So,
look out! I got some clips to put up still from other from some pods we've done with our cousin Justin. So Justin been great. So yeah.
We out. Peace.
Peace.
What's going on, podcast world? It's your boy, the Almighty Nicodemus, wanting to let you know about my new podcast, the Power 7 Podcast, featuring my brother, the Villain, where we give you our insights and our take on sports, film, music, and TV shows. Be sure to check us out on the Spreaker Network and all digital platforms where podcasts are available. Also, be on the lookout for my other podcast, the Beer, Beats, and Eats Pod, where we talk about beer, beats, and eats. We taste different beers from IPAs to stout while listening to user-submitted music while chowing down on some of the local eats in our area. So check us out on the Spreaker Network and on digital platforms where all podcasts are available.